Hi, it's Professor Moylan, and the purpose of this short video is to help you plan to get ready for classes as we start coming back from spring break. And I know that spring break was not the spring break that you wanted it to be, and of course, we're not coming back to our beautiful campus in Willimantic. As we resume classes, everything will be online. So we're getting ready to start what I'm calling Spring Semester 2.0 or Spring 2.0. This is obviously a dramatic, radical change from what we had planned to do, classroom education, to online education. And I know a lot of you may be thinking, will this be as good online as it would have been in the classroom? And the answer is absolutely. In fact, it's going to be better. And I'm not trying to put some crazy positive spin on it. Oh, the glass is half full, it's not half empty. This class, in fact, most business classes, in my opinion, really can be better delivered with a hybrid format. And I've got a lot of experience with hybrid format business education. Now, the typical definition is hybrid courses combine online and face-to-face formats. I want to slightly change that. They combine asynchronous and synchronous formats, because that's really the key there. Now, asynchronous, you can do that on your own, and those include things like videos, audios, PDF files, and other resources that can be posted online, and I am utilizing a tremendous amount of that for our class. Then when we get together synchronous, well, we had been planning on getting together face-to-face in a physical classroom, but now, of course, we'll be getting together screen to screen in a virtual classroom. And as I say, I do indeed have a lot of experience with these so-called hybrid classes by developing a lot of especially micro lecture video content. I've been doing this for more than 8 years. I did it when I put together the freshman direct admit program in 2012 at Shidler College of Business at the University of Hawaii. If you were in my Biz 225 Principles of Marketing class, you know that there were 65 micro lectures that we had in that class that covered every aspect of marketing. In my corporate training business, Professor Moylan's Workplace Essentials, a combination of in-person seminar at the workplace and self-viewed online video webinars for employees to view on their own. Well, that's what I'm doing here for our class. I'm putting that together so that all of the content that I would have been delivering physically in class lecture, I'm putting together those micro lectures. Spring break was no break for me. I was in the office, every single day, long hours, starting to put these micro lectures together. And of course, I'll be continuing to do that as the semester goes on. So I have been preparing. Now that spring break is almost over and we're ready to get back to it, I want you to start to prepare. And so here's how you can prepare. If you haven't already viewed the syllabus, I emailed you the syllabus on Friday afternoon. So please go ahead and view the syllabus. Also, I sent that link and that QR code to take the survey, and a number of you have already taken that survey, and I'll give you a couple of comments from that in a second. But if you haven't already completed that survey, do me a favor, please, and give me your feedback. Your feedback is very, very important. Go online, go to our class Blackboard place, and you'll notice that I've created a whole new section at the top, Virtual Classroom Spring 2.0 schedule, and so on. Go ahead and take a glance at that schedule. Now, this is the schedule for the entrepreneurship class, the Tuesday, Thursday entrepreneurship class. So if you're not in that class, your schedule is going to obviously be different, but it's going to be formatted the same way. And so here's how you do that. Here's how you look at that. When we are meeting at the same time in our virtual classroom via video conference, via WebEx video conference, you see that is slightly shaded. So on Tuesday for this class, we'll get together and just cover administrative details. Now, what you need to do prior to the next class, you see that, okay, the next thing is before March 26, view those Chapter 8 Financing micro lectures, listen to those Chapter 8 Financing key terms audios. Actually, for Chapter 8, there's only one audio. I try to break it into about 10-minute chunks. This one wasn't much longer than 10 minutes, so I go ahead and left that in one audio file. And then there's one YouTube video to watch the introduction to Microsoft Teams and so on. If you'll look down, almost at the very, very bottom, right before the April 2 video conference class, you see Supplemental Entrepreneurship and Ethics. There are some things that I've added to this that are over and above what I had originally planned to provide in the classroom. So anytime you see something that says supplemental, that's your key to know that you don't have to do it if you don't want to. I'm giving you some additional material that ties into our topic. We would not have had time to cover that in a traditional setting, but because we're in this virtual setting, you do indeed have the opportunity to view that additional material. Go ahead and go into where it says virtual classroom. The first thing you'll see is that link. You're going to use that link to just click on that link to get into our video conference. If we scroll down, you see that I've created a bucket or a module for every single one of our specific classes. You see that link there that says WebEx Video Conferencing Details. If you are the least bit concerned with how it's going to work, go ahead and click on that and view the tutorial. It's really pretty simple. It's really pretty intuitive. But if you've got a little bit of concern, go ahead and check that out. If you click on the March 24 class, you'll be glad to see that it says you don't have to do anything. Just show up for class. There's no preparation in advance of class. But that's the last time that's going to happen. March 26. If you click on that, you'll see that we've got the Chapter 8 Key Terms audio, the folder for the micro lecture videos. I'll put a folder anytime we have more than one video, and that will be almost always. And then the Microsoft Teams training tutorial. Click on that to view that tutorial. Now, the micro lecture videos, for Chapter 8, we've got 3. There's the financial management video. You see that's a 13-minute video. The ratio analysis micro lecture, that's a 12-minute micro lecture. And then one on leverage. And as you look through the virtual classroom folders, it will be pretty obvious, pretty self-explanatory. I know you have concerns. I know you have concerns, and that's one of the reasons why I sent that survey out, to get that feedback with what you were thinking. And I was very, very heartened to see that almost 25% of the students responded to that survey within the first 6 hours. And here were some of the concerns. More than half said, I don't like online learning. Let me promise you, this virtual classroom that we've got will be different than most traditional online learning. Because of the creation of these micro lectures, you will be able to get the material in a very, very efficient manner. In fact, to that next point, I'm concerned it will be harder. 58%. I promise you it will not be harder. And the reason is, creating the class in this format forces me to be super organized, and that makes it more efficient for you to get the material that I've put in these micro lectures. So yeah, it's not going to be harder. It's going to be easier. And then the next one, I'm concerned I won't learn as much. Absolutely not true. You will learn more if you indeed want to put in the time, because there's going to be a lot of supplemental material, because there's more time to do this. I don't know about you, but I don't have time to do, or I don't have the ability to do anything else. I can't go out to restaurants. I can't go out to the gym. And so, putting lots of time in this, you're going to get as much out of this as you want. I know that many, many, many of you are disappointed that we're having to switch to this. I know that you came to Eastern because you wanted to get an education, but you also wanted all of the other things, the social contact with fellow students, probably the residential life, the co-curricular and extracurricular activities, maybe intercollegiate athletics, maybe intramural athletics. And We're not going to have those for Spring 2.0. It's okay to be disappointed, but it's not okay to be discouraged. This is not how any of us wanted this to be, but it is how it is. And so we are going to get the most out of it. We're going to make the best of it. If you get discouraged, I want you to go to this one link on our virtual classroom, The Key to Success, Get Off Your Butt. That's supplemental material. That's my book and audio program. And if you get discouraged, I want you to go and read chapter 3. Get inspired and be persistent. And the reason is you will read some stories in there of people who have the right to be discouraged and aren't discouraged. The one I particularly want you to read is a gentleman named W. Mitchell. And here's the real quick version of what happened. He was in a terrible motorcycle accident. He was horrifically disfigured, burns over 95% of his body. But as a result of that, he got a $1 million lawsuit settlement with the manufacturer of the motorcycle. He took that money. He started a company. He built that company up and sold it for $20 million. He jokingly says, that accident's the best thing that ever happened to me because it got me my seed money for my company and now I'm rich. Now that is really, not getting discouraged. But wait, there's more, as the infomercial makers say. One of the things that he bought with his newfound wealth was a Cessna airplane. He was an accomplished pilot, but there was a mechanical failure, not pilot error. And when he was taking off, the plane crashed. There were 3 other people on the plane with him, and they all walked away. But he didn't because he was pinned. So now, in addition to being horrifically disfigured as a result of the fire from the motorcycle accident, he's a quadriplegic confined to a wheelchair. But he didn't let that second bad thing discourage him. In fact, he goes around and talks to groups, especially like a lot of student groups, and here's what he says. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. He says, I used to be able to do 10,000 things. Now I can only do 9,000 things. What should I do? Should I focus on the 1,000 things I can't do or focus on the 9,000 things I still can do? An amazing attitude. And that's what I want you to have. I don't want you to focus on the things that you're not going to be able to do in Spring 2.0. Yes, we're all disappointed that we're not going to have those. But let's focus on what we're here to do in the first place, the education. And so I want you to focus on that. In fact, the mantra, if you go ahead and read the book, Get Off Your Butt, you'll see the mantra keeps coming back again and again and again. Have the right mindset, have the right skill set, and work hard. Well, one of the reasons that you're in college is to develop a lot of skills, so that's what's happening. So I want you to really focus on have the right mindset and work hard. Yeah, it's disappointing that we're not going to have all of the other things, but don't forget your primary purpose is to get that education. And I would strongly encourage you to work hard this Spring 2.0. I promise you that you will never forget Spring 2.0 for the rest of your life. You will never forget this. This is so unique, so unbelievable. The last pandemic was 102 years ago. The probability of another situation like this occurring in your lifetime is very low. We will be talking about March, April, and May 2020 for the rest of our lives. The time that America stood still. You've got the ability now to really focus on your education. This semester, Spring 2.0, is 1/2 of one semester. If you go through college in 4 years, that's 8 semesters. So we're talking about 1/2 of 1/8 or 1/16. That is 6.25% of your college experience. Because you're never going to forget this semester for the rest of your life, I want you to always be able to look back on it with pride. Don't make this the semester that you kicked back. Make this the semester that you kicked butt. I will see you in our virtual classroom at our regularly scheduled time early next week. Have a great finish to your spring break.